It's not me, it's you. I don't mean you in particular. I mean all the yous out there in the world. When did this world get so weird? Stay tuned. Hi, and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Why does this modern world feel so strange to me? Does it to you as well? Well, I have some things to say about this modern world, and most of it isn't that good. This fast paced, digital, crazy, robotic, goofy language world that we live in now just does not work for someone like me. Now, I know I'm not alone in feeling that way. In fact, I don't understand why everyone doesn't feel that way. But let me talk about a few examples and things that just don't sit right with me. Say you have to call your bank because you have a specific question. Oh my gosh, you cannot get a real person. It doesn't matter who you're calling, your doctor's office, the bank, uh, anywhere. There's no people anymore. It's these automated machines. They ask so many questions, and you still aren't able to talk to a live representative. So they start off asking you, your account number or whatever, and then they start saying, what is the problem? If you are calling about this, press one, this, press two, and they go all the way through. Sometimes there's 7 to 10 options. And if none of them suit the reason you are calling, then it says other. So you say other. And then you start saying customer service, customer service. I don't understand you. We don't recognize that response. Oh my gosh, that drives me crazy. I'm sure it does you too. Then, when you finally get a representative on the line, they start all over. What's your account number? What's your name? The same doggone questions that you already answered in the beginning. Now, that is so frustrating. If that's supposed to be like the new modern way of doing things because it's going to save time and paperwork and all this other stuff, it doesn't. It doesn't save any time. In fact, it doubles the time you have to be on the phone. Who came up with this stuff? So besides having to talk to robots every time you pick the phone up, how about if you go to the grocery store? Well, I don't go to the grocery store, but say you're in Walmart and you happen to be buying groceries or anything. There's those doggone self checkout lines. I don't like them. Maybe they're convenient for some people, but not for this girl. So you get in that line and you start checking yourself out, and that darn machine starts beep, 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 and then somebody has to come over and they look at you like you broke the machine or you're an idiot because you don't know how to work it. Oh, boy, that can really pluck your nerves. And then when it comes time to pay for your purchases in these self checkout lines, all the machines seem different to me. Some of them you tap your card, some of them you insert it, up through the bottom, some you slide it down the side. Some, if you don't want to do a debit, you hit cancel. But other ones, if you don't want to do a debit, you'd rather do a credit, you have to hit the green circle or the yellow circle or the red circle. And everyone is different. Look at all the extra time it takes us to do all those things. When if they just kept the cashiers We could just go through the line, pay, and get out the door. And how about passwords? You need a password to get into anything you want to get into. How can we ever memorize all the passwords? Some of them say they have to be 12 characters long. Others say they need like a number, a capital letter, a little letter, something. It's always something, and they're too difficult to memorize. So you write them down and hope you can find the book that you wrote them in, and then all of a sudden you go back into that program and it says your password has expired or it needs to be changed or it's too weak or something. It is so irritating having to deal with that because whether we're going, say, to our banks online or checking on anything like our health records. Now, everybody, all the medical places have these portals that you set up, and you have to set up your sign in and your password to log in. But every different uh, doctor's office, hospital, whatever, has a different portal that you have to sign up to their portal. So you've got to remember all those passwords. And it is just so time consuming and so bothersome. I just don't get it. What happened to the days when you could call the doctor's office or they would call you and go over your results or your blood work or whatever it may be? Now they want you to go into their portal and view it for yourself. Everything is online now. You want to schedule a haircut? Go to their website. You want to ask a question? Fill out a form. If you want to talk to a human being, well, just forget about it because you're not going to get one. You're going to get a robot. Sometimes people think doing everything online is, convenient or easier, and maybe some places are. But I like the days when I could actually talk to a real human being. I could get my questions answered, my concerns addressed. I could tell somebody, have a nice day, or ask them, how's your day going? Those days are gone. Even the language in this modern world, it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why people feel the need to say some of the things they say. Like if somebody says, "Oh, I've been ghosted." Well, what does that mean? They had some kind of spiritual experience? They were visited by a ghost? And then someone else might say, "I'm shook," or "I was shook." Well, what does that mean? Were you in an earthquake or something like that? I mean, what's with all this different language? And why should we have to adapt to it? It's just a waste of time to me. I just want to talk to people that speak plain English, just use those everyday words that we all know, and not have to keep up with all this lingo that comes around or goes through trends and then everybody jumps on it and uses it. Now, I don't feel like I have fallen behind. It's just I have lived in a world that made sense, and this one does not. I don't feel like I'm out of touch either. The world has changed, not me. I am curious to know if any of you feel the same way, if there's other things you can think of besides what I mentioned. And please, if you do, leave that in the comments section. I know there's many, many more, but this modern world is just not for me. And I'm not going to go along with it. We have a choice. I don't have to go to a self-checkout. Now I get very frustrated standing in line that's, golly, probably 50 feet long because there's nobody at the cash registers anymore. But I'd rather do that than deal with those doggone self-checkouts. We don't even know how to greet people anymore when we're out in public because we're so used to talking to machines, those robots, and we're missing out on so much. To be able to look at someone, smile at them, give them a compliment, tell them to have a nice day. I'll take that over this other stuff any day of the week. I am not going to buy into it, and I'm going to avoid it at all costs. How about you? How do you feel about this? Well, now I want to leave you with an inside beauty tip. My inside beauty tip comes from Romans 12:2. Do not copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. This verse reminds me that we don't have to fit in with the modern world. We don't have to keep up with this fast paced, loud, crazy stuff that goes on. I think God calls us to use our common sense. He wants us to be able to interact with other people so that we can show kindness to other people. You can't show kindness to a robot. And I don't think I could muster it up if I even tried, because when I'm talking to one of those robots, I mean, I'm screaming in the phone, customer service, can't you hear me? Customer service, and I'm hitting all the buttons. I mean, I'm just getting out of control. I don't want to feel that kind of frustration and anger. I want to be of the character that God has created me to be and to use my mind and kindness and things that my parents brought me up with that I can take out into the world and use on other human beings. It just seems like today's world is trying to isolate us or keep us apart, keep us from interacting with other people. And I just cannot believe for a minute that that would be pleasing to God. God wants us to shine our light when we're out amongst His people. You can't do that the way things are today. So I would suggest do your best. If this stuff frustrates you, do your best to get out there and do things in person. If you need to talk to your bank, go into your bank branch and talk to the teller. Don't talk to the robot on the phone. That way you'll be able to spread that light and smile and kindness to other human beings, which I feel is very important, and I don't want to let it go. I thank you so much for being here today. I truly do appreciate it. And until we meet again, this is the old girl signing out. See ya.